So 1 year ago, I set out on a journey to learn Unreal Engine, and this is what I did in that year. Yeah, during that year I actually managed to sort of finish 7 games. Okay, maybe I didn't finish them all, but I started a lot of them. So immediately after I had downloaded Unreal, I set out to make a very simple game, just to learn how to make something in the engine. The problem was that I didn't know anything about the engine, except that you can make some really dope stuff with it. Anyways, I looked at some YouTube tutorials, and after 2.5 weeks, I made this game. All you do is whack some skeletons, throw candles and skulls into graves, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I made all the animations and models for this game too. My main goal with this project was to learn how to write code in Unreal, which unlike Unity, is done in a tool called Blueprints, where you drag these spaghettis around instead of writing lines of code. It took a while to get used to, but now I love it. So straight after this, I made another game with this guy. Yeah, I wanted to make a Christmas game, but at this point I had another problem. How do you make a fun Christmas game? Well, I had this idea, you know, you take Santa, give him a pogo stick, build this weird tower of Christmassy stuff, and yeah, I basically made Getting Over It, but with a pogo stick, with Santa Claus, 'cause Christmas. This game I tried to make as hard as possible, and boy, it was. I don't think anyone have actually finished it yet. Making it wasn't that easy either, actually. Yeah, I had a lot of problems getting Santa to jump. Like this, or this, or this, I don't know. Okay, but after I had finished that game, I thought I was ready, you know, to start working on a real game, which would be my next commercial release. So I've had this idea for a game for a long time. The game idea was this co-op horror game, where you would try to escape this haunted mansion by solving escape room puzzles, under the constant threat of being killed. And at this point I thought I was ready to make it.
Actually, he wasn't even close to ready.
Anyways, I started prototyping this PSX-style game inspired by Mrs. game Wrought Flesh. I actually thought the style turned out pretty good. I even managed to turn myself into a character. For this game, I also managed to implement online multiplayer and make this cool mansion. I implemented a lot of stuff that I'm really happy with actually, but then I tried creating this AI for the monster, and that's where I got stuck. I kept implementing some more stuff. I worked on creating this horror feel for the game while I was thinking about the AI, but I didn't really come up to a good solution for it. So I sort of lost momentum for the game and put it on the shelf for a while. In the meantime, as you do, you start some other games. In particular, one Friday evening, I set myself a timer for 4 hours. Could I make a game from scratch within this time frame? The answer? No. I mean, it took me like 6 hours, but I did finish the game. It's still pretty impressive if you ask me. And the result was this golf game right here. I also made this game I called Fighty Gamey. The whole idea for this game was that I wanted to use the same method that I had used for my horror game to create the character that looked like me, but do the same thing for my friends. But yeah, I just did this for fun and also to reuse the characters in the horror game. It was also an opportunity for me to learn how to set up local multiplayer. I also learned how to use Mixamo for animations. Previously, all my animations had been done by myself, but for a game like this, the Mixamo animations really came in handy. A project like this one would have taken months with handmade animations, but I thought it was pretty fun to play actually. So did any of you watch Stranger Things? Well, I was kind of late to the party, and I saw the show a week or so prior to the latest season release. And this inspired me to make a game from it, because I thought it was a good opportunity to make a video on something that was trending. Boy, did that pay off. God damn it. I mean, sub to me instead if you want to make me feel less miserable. Anyways, the game turned into this Slenderman style game, but it had some kind of cool graphics if you ask me. The entire game just worked with you finding these Molotovs, looking for your buddy and get eaten by a monster. I even made this huge map and then I never released it. Because, I don't know, Unreal didn't want to export it for some reason. And then we have my latest edition. Get ready for it. this really awful Flappy Bird ripoff, where instead of a bird, you're a fish. You might ask why I downgraded my quality this much. Well, I decided to dip my toes into some AI-generated art. Every single piece of art here was made by a program, with some extra work by me because the AI kind of sucked at making what I wanted to make. So I was not particularly convinced that game artists out there need to be worried, at least not for a while. And that was what I had created during the year, but I've also started working on this new prototype for a highly realistic horror game. I'm not gonna say too much about it, for the risk of me abandoning the project as the other projects that I have made. But until you find out more about that, check out this playlist containing all of the devlogs I've talked about in this video for more details. Ja boy!